Yes?
Nein. Nein. Ach Mann.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads.
Das haben wir ja schon. So. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wie ich da hinkomme. Ach, von da kamen wir. Doof.
The payphone hangs mutely on the wall. There isn't much.
Ja, jetzt, warte. Dahin. Gut, okay. Stopp, stopp, stopp. Egal. Hatte ich für Walfjord, okay. Ich hab's komplett vergessen. Da hoch. Ja, und da rein. Das ist es.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Ich habe die Tür gefunden. Ja, können wir. Genau.
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers
Der
in
ist so
this
eklig.
harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Er will's nicht sagen.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
Es ist möglich.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel. Pissing on Everart's Rainbow Coalition.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
Ich bin dort wirklich reingegangen. Wer wohnt dort? Ich muss es einfach wissen.
Why? Believe me, he's not a killer. He's a nobody. Just a basement variety armchair fascist who comes up with needlessly complex conspiracy
Alles
theories.
klar.
What if one of those complex theories is right?
What if it did? What if he took a whack in the dark? Started telling people the strike is funded by a protection racket that drove local shops out of business?
Aha.
What if he planned to write a hack piece to the local newspaper regarding these crazy theories he had developed? Just to stir up trouble. Wouldn't that be annoying?
das wäre cool. Ich mache nichts lieber als den Schmier.
So funny, Harry. I, of course, love journalism. And I know secretly you do too. And you know why? Because we've got nothing to hide. Now please, let's get back to the good stuff. The police stuff, Harry. I just see myself as one of you guys. Think of me as a sergeant or something. Let's crack this, Harry. By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
Ja.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
So wie ich meine Spielfähigkeiten einschätze, wird das passieren.
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real.
Okay, weiter.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Was?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We
Okay.
got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill. Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Und wer genau war für das Rollen
There's a
verantwortlich?
militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Tja, das wird nicht
Aren't you
reichen.
worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway,
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, She came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Woher wissen Sie, dass die Söldner von der Spedition angeordnet wurden?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company, after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. Of course, you're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me.
Tja, und jetzt?
Tribunal? That sounds serious, Harry. We union men should be shitting ourselves. I wish you hadn't told me that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this. Let's change the subject.
Sie wirken nicht wirklich besorgt.
Oh, Harry, what do I really think about the tribunal? You're trying to climb to second base with old Everard before you've even courted him properly.
He wants you to do more things for him before.
Was ist denn mit der... was ist denn mit Titus Hardy, genau?
No, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Können Sie denen Bescheid sagen, die sollen mit uns
But of
zusammenarbeiten?
course, it's the least I can do for my
Jawohl.
good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
Das ist
You
gut.
can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Warum?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little puzzled.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions? Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Noch nicht.
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
Bald bin ich's doch.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat.
Perfect, Harry. That's perfect. My version of the left is not against the companies, it's with the companies. Honestly, what I have in mind is a business proposal. A left-wing business proposal, but still...
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
Was?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Kim?
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm going to hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can, deliberately omitting things.
Wo genau?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry. They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Okay. Es wird immer seltsamer.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let
Ist
anything
der so
bad happen to them.
widerlich?
We're going to build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbour.
Ja, komm.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning.
Okay, das heißt
Once
alles
you have the
das...
signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I know we can do business together. Most certainly, Harry.
Nee, komm,
By all
Quatsch.
means, Harry. What's on your... See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
So, das können wir ja alles jetzt gar nicht machen. Aber ich habe hier, warte mal. Nee, was muss ich denn machen? Warte mal. Ausdauer. Körperapparat. Schmerzgrenze. Gut. Nehmen wir das einfach mal. Und ganz raus. Warte mal. Das geht beides nur nach Mittwoch. Ist auf deiner Seite. Schaffe ich nicht. Nein. Ja. Das ist alles morgen. Ja, das können wir jetzt mal probieren. Na komm. Achso, warte mal. Weißes Tanktop. Schauspielkunst brauche ich nicht. Ich brauche doch nochmal. So. Was haben wir denn noch? Ja. Das sollte einfach helfen jetzt. Achso, Gegenstände.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez. With direction, your finger moves through the various streets, finally coming to a halt on the spot where you are.
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and select the map